Well, welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast presented by Fully Funded Life. My name is Joe Sengel, and I'm joined by my co-host, Megan Hibbard. We're here to help you live a fully funded life, which is being able to do exactly what you've been put on earth to do, regardless of the cost or the income potential it may have. And so, Megan, how are you doing today?
Doing good. End of October.
It is Monday. Fall's in the air.
It is chilly out
We're
there.
recording this in October, and it was
cold.
our first frost today, and there was frost on my truck.
I was not prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a jacket and stuff, but it was a rude awakening.
So you're in studio, which means you made the big travel from the Research Triangle area of Raleigh-Durham area.
I did.
Yep. How's life up there?
It's good.
People want to know.
People want to know. It's good. We are in our house, which is exciting. So during our transition, we were building a house and it wasn't ready yet. So we live in an apartment. An apartment with 3 kids and a dog. We're not apartment people.
Special living.
We are not apartment people. We are yard people. So we are
Yeah.
very excited to have a yard and space.
And projects. Got to do some landscaping.
It's so funny. You buy a new house. Like, this house is brand new. And yet there are still things that I'm like, let's do this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, it's new.
It's new. Yes. But you know what? You got to make it your own.
You do.
And that's when a house becomes a home. So today we're going to talk about something really important. It's something that having a house really helps you do. Tell everybody what we're going to talk about today.
Yes. So today we are talking about increase your net worth. So strategies for early retirement. Who doesn't want to retire early?
Yeah, we're going to talk about strategies for early retirement. This is awesome. We're going to do all that in about 9 minutes. Isn't that amazing?
Buckle up, buttercup.
So we're going to listen to a lot of things really fast because we got to say some things really fast. But really, what does early retirement mean for you? I think that's something important for you as a listener to ponder. You know, what age is early retirement for you? Is it 40? Is it 50? Is it 60? Is it 65? At some point in time, it's just normal retirement.
Just retirement.
Right?
Just retiring.
Yeah, instead of early retirement. So we're defining early retirement as, hey, earlier than when you're eligible for Social Security. Does that sound like a good definition?
That's a good definition.
Now, we want to help you have strategies for early retirement. And we're going to talk through 2 or 3 things. And the first thing is what?
Yep. So the first one is know your numbers.
Now, listen, I think one of the things we should share with people is our podcast is educational. So having a pencil and paper or having notes or being able to take notes, even if you're driving, the ability to scribble something down really fast is really important. And you need to know your numbers. There's a great quote from Zig Ziglar that says,
Yep. If you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time.
yeah, Zig Ziglar, the great teacher. I had a class in 7th grade that was taught at our school, actually. It was called junior high, 7th and 8th grade. And Miss Natalie Hornsby taught us this class, I Can. And it was a motivational class by Zig Ziglar. And he was right. If you aim at nothing, you will hit that every time. And knowing your numbers, well, that's really important if you're going to retire early, you better know your numbers because it makes the impossible, which many of you listening right now have tuned us out because you're like, early retirement, yeah, right. Well, that seems impossible, but having numbers, knowing your numbers makes that impossible seem more possible because tangible numbers, knowing what number you're aiming at, that creates something we call financial confidence.
Yeah, and I feel like for a lot of those people, probably the ones that tuned us out, you think, oh, I could never do that. There's way too much money. Like, I could never do that. But do you know what the number is to know if you can even, how you can accomplish it?
I retired 10 years ago.
Just doing this
I
for
haven't
fun.
told people yet. Yeah, I'm just doing this for fun. What do they say? If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Get fired up.
Yeah.
But one of the things about knowing your numbers is that specific numbers, well, that will equal specific activities. Like when you know what your number is that you're aiming at, that helps you get great clarity on what you need to do. And one of the things that I do is I track my net worth. And so I literally go grab the values of all the things. Now, it's easy to log into a retirement account and find the value of it. It's easy to log into a bank account and find the value of it. It's a little less difficult or a little less easy to find the value of your house or the value of your cars. So what I do for things like houses, cars, if you own a business, you have to put a value on that. You know, what is the value of those things? So I will set those numbers no more frequent than once a year because, I mean, I don't know how much my houses went up in value or down in value in a year or within a month or a business or any of that stuff. But you need to track net worth. Like, have you sat down and captured your net worth statement? Like, have you grabbed those?
It's been a while. We did it, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago, maybe. But in the transition, we probably should do it again.
Yeah, because you've sold a house. You've had a big net worth.
Change.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, so like, even our house from when we initially started building it to when it was finished building and they did an appraisal on it, it's already appraising for more than we.
How much more?
I mean, probably like $30,000 or $40,000 more.
Wow.
Like,
that's amazing.
What?
You're living in a very hot area. A lot of people are moving there.
And specifically, like, the town that we live in is a suburb of Raleigh and Cary and that whole area. And our exact same house, same builder, same like model, everything, to build it in Cary is $400,000 more.
Wow.
Less yard, all like it's wild. And so who's going to afford that? So everybody's moving out. I mean, we looked at probably 10 or 15 new build neighborhoods. So in our area.
I experienced it. I went and spoke in that area and I just could not believe. I've been there many times. I could not believe the growth that's happening there.
It's wild.
It's on the I-95 corridor and people are zooming down from the northeast. But you've got to know your numbers. So listen, friend, we want to help you live a fully funded life. And if you have a desire or a goal, or even just a dream of retiring early, you've got to know your numbers. You need to know where you are right now, and you got to know your numbers of what you need to be able to retire well. And then that specific set of numbers will drive specific activities, and that specific activity is to do what?
Yep. So secure oxen.
That's right.
So we're not saying you need to get a farm,
You
maybe.
You could get some cattle. Are you saying it's time to move? Is that a bunch of bull? Have you heard about oxen?
It's utterly
amazing. There we go. Excellent.
I've heard your jokes so many times.
Yeah, there we go.
I've been to your events.
I'm trying to milk it. No. But you need to secure oxen. And oxen, if you're unfamiliar with it, we talk about those all the time with our podcast. It's a word we use for investments.
Yeah.
It's getting your money to work for you. We call it type 2 income. Type number 1 or method number 1 income is money you work for. It's your job. Type 2 is money you do not work for. And so these oxen need to do some other things too. Mm-hmm. One thing is really important, and what's that?
They need to make some cash.
Yeah, they need to cash flow. And it's not cash flow in the future. It needs to start cash flowing right away because if you're retiring early, there's probably limitations on your ability to touch your 401k type accounts. You can't start making withdrawals until you're 59 and a half without a penalty, with a couple of exceptions. And so you need to get oxen that are cash flowing right away. And that these oxen need to give you the opportunity to grow your investments, to keep pace with inflation once you have retired. Mm-hmm. So let's say your goal is to retire at age 55 and you're age 35 right now. You need to go get oxen. And these oxen need to be able to generate cash flow that you have access to right away. And so this is why many people will end up investing in real estate because they can get rental income. They will invest in a business that gives them business income. They will invest in they'll invest in dividend paying stocks that are not in a retirement account, or maybe just investments that are taxed every year, but it gives them access to cash flow. And that's really important. And the earlier you get cash flowing assets, oxen, it helps you understand that they can be reliable and maybe even more reliable than you working a job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And then, of course, our third step, this is by no means a masterclass, and it's a brief overview of being able to retire early. The third strategy, after you know your numbers and you've secured some investments that are cash flowing, is what?
Yep. So you need to reduce expenses.
So give some tips with reducing expenses.
Yeah. So let's see. You can cut subscriptions.
Yes.
You can cut out going out to eat. There's just, I feel like, look at your budget, create your budget, and then sit down and say, this is not forever, but for now, what are some ways that I can reduce some expenses so that I can do X, Y, and Z?
Yeah. I mean, when you reduce your expenses, it makes every dollar that you have accrued stretch farther. Mm-hmm. That's what it does. So for example, if you had $500,000 and your expenses are $5,000 a month, then you have 100 months worth of expenses saved up or invested. If you're able to reduce those monthly expenses from $5,000 down by 30% down to $3,500 a month, maybe it's by paying off your house, by paying off all the cars, having zero debt at all, then you have, because it's $3,500, you still have the $500K. Well, then you have 143 months, not 100 months, 143 months. That's 12 years worth of expenses saved up with no future growth. And so it's the same amount of retirement savings, but a vastly different impact. And so when we're talking about reducing expenses, we're talking about those smaller things, the subscriptions, the, how much you're spending on restaurants and all that. But we're also talking about the big rocks, the big debt payments that people have, house payments, car payments, and the like.
Yeah. And the small things can help you get to those. So
that's right.
You're cutting these little things out.
Yeah,
so
you're cutting the subscription.
More so you can pay it's almost like it's the stepping stones that you might not see, So yeah, you're cutting out a subscription, but don't see it as that. See it as I'm cutting this out so that I can pay off my house. I can get rid of my student loans. I can, all these other things.
And that's really huge. It's kind of the snowball. It's not exactly a debt snowball. It's partially a debt snowball. It's an expense riddance. You're getting rid of expenses. You're eliminating those, which allows you to take those dollars and apply them to debt or boost your investments.
Yeah.
And then as you pay off a debt, you can take that debt payment, add it to the next one, and eventually pile it into your investments. And that really changes things. One of the things that I want to say here is there is a movement, particularly amongst millennials, called the FIRE movement. And it stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. So if you want more information on retiring really early, like by age 40 and you're 23 or 4, look up FIRE movement, Financial Independence, Retire Early. It talks about like living on 30% of your income and investing 70%, no debt, kind of a no fun, but no fun that costs money, no vacations, all that stuff. So that at age 40, you're done. You have your house paid for, everything's set up, you're off and running. So check that out. But really, what we'd like you to do is to start with knowing your numbers. And we have a net worth calculator. How can they get access to it?
Yeah, so we'll include a link in the show notes, but you can go to iwasbrokenowimnot.com on our tools. You can download those, or fullyfunded.life. You can become a member and you'll be able to access it there as well.
Yeah, so we want to be able to put that in your hands. That net worth calculator costs absolutely nothing. It's a great tool for you to know where you're at, so that you can understand the specific activities that you need to do to secure oxen investments and reduce those expenses so that you can retire early. Hey, how about retire early from the podcast? See what I did there? All right. Hey, listen, we do encourage you to check out Fully Funded Life. Fullyfunded.life is a community committed to helping people do just that, live their fully funded life. Check it out and become a member today. Fullyfunded.life. Hey, thanks for watching this video. There's a lot more content on our website. We got a few of them linked right here, and we got a subscription link as well. We would be so honored if you would click that like and subscribe button and go learn some additional stuff so that you can live your fully funded life.